Hey everybody, it's Dr. Brian Prax coming to you live on Facebook here. Just wanted to share my awesome view from the office with you today. This is the view from my office looking out at the beautiful town of Charlottesville, Virginia. So here we are live, and I had a patient come in today. He's in for knee pain and also neuropathy, and I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he goes, "Fantastic." And I was like, "That's really good." And he goes, "Well, I'm not really doing fantastic, but that's just what I'm telling myself." And it made me think back to a mentor, and R.I.P., rest in peace, Zig Ziglar. Because Zig Ziglar had a story once when he was sitting in an airport traveling. The lady came on or actually he was standing up at the counter. And the person said, "Well, I've got bad news for you. You're flying over here to Chicago. The plane to Chicago is delayed and it won't take off for 3 hours." And his immediate response was, "Fantastic." And the lady's like, "Fantastic? What do you mean?" "Sir, I just told you that your plane is delayed by 3 hours. And he goes, "I'm telling you, that is fantastic." And he goes on to tell the lady, he's like, "Listen, there's only 3 reasons that plane is." I'm starting to get my accent here, but he goes, "There's only 3 reasons that plane not going to take off. Number 1 is the pilot who going to fly that plane isn't well, and if he not well, I don't want to be on that plane, and that is fantastic that we're not going to take off." He goes, "The second reason is that plane that pilot is going to be flying on for some reason isn't okay to fly, and if that's the case, I don't want to be on that plane, and that is fantastic." He goes, "The third reason is that the weather that plane is going to fly in isn't proper for me flying to Chicago, making it unsafe, and for that reason, if that's the case, I gotta tell you, that is fantastic." He goes, "Now I'm going to take my stuff." I don't think he had a laptop back then, but he's "I'm going to go ahead and do some writing. I got some very important writing I got to do. I'm going to get me a cup of coffee over here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do some writing." And he went through this whole thing. And basically what he was talking about was turning lemons into lemonade, and having the proper attitude is what he was talking about. And just like my patient, he goes, "Listen, realistically, was it fantastic? Come on, Zig, you don't really think it was fantastic, did you? You had a seminar you had to get to teach, etc." He goes, "Nah, of course I didn't think it was fantastic. But I had no reason. I could have complained and bitched and moaned, and I could have gotten all upset and had a tantrum there at the counter. But that plane still is not taking off for 3 hours." He goes, "It does no bit of good to complain about it whatsoever." And having the attitude, the positive attitude, the fantastic attitude, and making the best out of the situation is what my patient was talking about earlier, and is what Zig was talking about as well. So the other day on my way to visit my running specialist, I have a little hip thing going on right here, and he's helping me, and I'm on my way to his doctor's office, and here I was walking along. I was walking just fine. Nobody can even really tell what's going on, but I have pain every time that I'm walking on the hip, and I just need to rule something out. Well, I see a guy ahead of me. He's walking in the same door, and he's got a big limp. I mean, he is just limping along as he's going here. And I get the attitude, because I'm trained like Zig Ziglar, and like my patient, I'm trained to think there's always somebody worse in a worse situation than you are, and I've always got it better than what other people do. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, whew, at least I'm not that bad. But I notice as he's hobbling and hobbling along, his head is cranked 90 degrees to the left, and he's looking over this way. So as I'm passing him, because I'm walking so much better, I look over and I see a woman in a wheelchair. And in the wheelchair, she had a full cast on her left leg. She's propped back, full cast on the left leg, and a full cast on the entire right arm. I think she even had a neck brace, thinking she must have been in some significant trauma. And I was envisioning this. I don't know whether it was true or not, but I was envisioning me thinking I've got it better than this guy, and I'm thinking he's thinking, whew, with him hobbling around and everything, I'm thinking he's thinking, geez, phew, at least I don't have it as bad as she is. At least I can be up and walking. And then I continued my vision here, and I thought, she may have been thinking, that was a terrible accident, but at least I wasn't like the passenger in the car or the people in the other car or other people who die from an accident. Whew, I'm in a good place. And I'm actually just getting chills thinking about this story. And I don't know if I'm making it up, if that's what he was thinking or he was just looking or whatever. But that's the point. Trying to train your brain into gratitude. Train your brain into fantastic. Whether it's neuropathy, whether it's knee pain, a chronic condition, a hip thing, or whatever you've got, there's always somebody worse. And that doesn't make your pain go away, but at least it may put it in perspective for you. So I'm going to turn you back to the view. We'll leave it up there for just a second. Thanks for listening here at Facebook Live. I've had fun. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear this. We got more positivity coming. We'll have more insight and tips on how to reverse your chronic condition like peripheral neuropathy. Other than that, you guys, I hope you have a great day. Hope you got something out of this. Here's the view. Fantastic. There you go. Make it a great day, you guys. Bye now.